then that's because something's telling you not to. And when you do feel like doing something, that's because God is telling you to. And He's got this whole. We're live.
We are live.
We are in the motherland.
We are in Bali.
Woo!
So let's get right into it. I have Jocelyn here with me, who is the best of the best life coaches in the space. She is.
Thank you.
Yeah, she blows my mind with all of the insights that she has to give. So I'm really stoked to dive in today. We're going to be talking about why Bali, moving past discomfort, leaving your hometown, and how to get out of like poverty mindset. So if you want to just introduce yourself, and then we'll get right into it.
Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to be a part of Emily's channel. I'm Jocelyn. I am 29 years old. I'm born and raised in Chicago. But I always felt like I was meant to be somewhere else. And I think that sense of wanting to be somewhere else or knowing I was meant to be somewhere else was within me since I was a very young child. I always knew that I was meant for something more within my life. So what did I do? I recreated exactly everything about myself. Did a complete reset button. I've been sober for 16 months. Yes, I'm life coaching, but I also coach on LinkedIn strategies. I am very multi-passionate. I'm a web designer too. So there's a lot of parts of what I'm doing. It's a pretty much comprehensive all-in thing of who I am. And I think that that's been the most freeing feeling, knowing that I'm not limited on this journey of being an entrepreneur. Some fresh nervousness is seeing myself fall in love with this island and this environment. And, I told Emily I had this nightmare last night that I disappeared and I just went home. I went back to the States and I was homesick. And then I went back home and I was more depressed being home. And then I came back. And I think that made me realize like I'm falling in love with being here more than I am being in the country, in the States.
Yeah.
And yeah, what if I don't want to leave? What if I never want to go back home? It's heavy.
Yeah, we've only been here for around 4 days. And this entire time we have been working, which I feel is maybe a common misconception around people who want to travel. The reason I came to Bali, and maybe for you as well, is like I just wanted to optimize my environment for productivity. And the goal wasn't to just like slack off. I want to still live a life full of experiences and memories and get out of my comfort zone, but I also truly love working, creating impact, and serving people. And I feel like there's so many people in the space who just stay in their hometown and then they talk about taking risks and, getting uncomfortable, when I feel like taking that first step, moving away from your hometown, is one of the most courageous things that you can do.
When I got here, I had more creativity and more sense of flow and wanting to create and be present in my business than I was staying in a place where I was comfortable. And I feel like I've made so much progress in my business in just the last few days. And I feel like it would have taken me weeks, potentially months to get it done, being in my comfort zone. Like I felt so blocked.
Yeah.
So when you get into a place that you know deep down that you want to be, it opens up just a completely new frame of mindset, frame of reference, that you can actually step into that higher self, that future version of yourself.
Yeah, it's really scary to step into that version of yourself. And I made a reel about this because it's so true. Like, fear is a mile wide, but an inch deep. When we got here, like, I was fine. I was chilling. I was by myself and staying at a hotel, and like,
oh yeah, you were here before.
I was fine. Like, people here were so sweet, and I knew that it's literally just taking that first step that's the scariest part. And then once you do that, you're unstoppable, you're unshakable, you can do anything. And there was a moment before I came here and even booked. There was a moment before I wanted to come to Bali, before I booked the plane ticket, where I didn't even think I was going to come to Bali because I had no one to go with, and I was so afraid, even though I was like, I need to get out of my hometown. Like, I know I should not be here, and there's so much more out in the world to see and experience, and so much more wisdom to, yeah, just experience. So for about a week, I really did not know what I was going to do, and I was just so lost and like confused because there were people telling me to stay, and there were people telling me to, you know, don't risk anything, like play it safe. But this was one of the best decisions when when we decided to book the one-way ticket, and I reached out to Jocelyn. I was like, what are your plans for May? And she was like, I'm thinking of going to Bali. So it worked out perfectly, and yeah, I feel like I just have a soul contract to be here almost. Like,
I feel that so much.
yeah, like I think it is, there's something here that we just have to experience. Even though what's crazy is like our mentors who we thought we were going to be spending a lot of time here with are moving suddenly. They had to leave for a year and go to Cape Town. So things change, and you just have to continue to adapt, especially when traveling. But that's where you begin to deepen your self-trust, your self-love. Yeah.
I think I think it's going to be good too. And just to give you guys context, when Emily and I started talking about Bali, I was only going to come for 3 weeks. She, on the other hand, really challenged me to just be like, come on, like, just do it, you know? And I, for myself, like, I had been a bartender for 8 years, and there had been so much going on in my life, like having to surrender that and give that up and go all in on the business. And there was such a shift in April while I experienced some of the heaviest fear of my life. I also experienced some of the greatest strength within myself and actually being able to see the potential of being in a different part of the world longer than 3 weeks. So I personally have to give you like a huge thank you, because I would have stayed stuck in that like little small minded self version of myself. And I think that that's just a testament of just like who you are, Emily, because she's so great at like painting that picture of your future and what it could look like and that it's possible for you. And the saying goes like all it takes is for one person to believe in you truly, for a reality that you really want to like come true. Yeah. And we're doing it together.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's already been to Costa Rica, like she's already done the dang thing. Like if she can do it, I can do it too.
Yes. And we're so supported. Like, we are so supported by God. It doesn't even come into play how much support that we have and have experienced while we're here. And I think when you do step into the more courageous version of yourself, the version of yourself that you know that you were meant to be and that you have a desire for, God will support you like through that whole transition.
And I think too, you know, not just that, but also whatever it is that you believe in, source, power, God, you know, I believe in
universe.
And yeah, I'm a Christian, so of course I'm going to be the one that's like only God, but I still am respectful of what other people believe in, regardless of what it is. It's super important that you surrender. And what I mean by that is being obedient to what God has intended for you and following that, praying, reading the Bible, giving, right? Giving when you probably shouldn't or can't, and giving all of that trust to the Father, to the Lord, to Source, to the universe, to whatever power it is that you connect to. And that's one of the hardest parts, is because as us human beings, we want control over our situation. We want to control everything, and then we become so attached and fixated and like thrown off. Not Simon just literally catapulting into the water while we are filming. That was hilarious. But, you know, putting your entire self into your faith and stepping out of the aches and pains of what the world can provide, right? Like not allowing doubt or fear to deter you from the path you are supposed to be on. Move through it, feel it, cry it out, scream it out, whatever you need to do. But
Yes.
be obedient to whatever it is that you believe in, because when you can just breathe and trust, you have no clue what can happen for you. And like, Delulu is the Salulu, honey.
The Dulu is the Salulu.
For real. For real.
Oh yeah, surrender is huge. It's come up a lot for me, and yeah, I did like cry a lot before I came here, and yeah, screamed, like really let it out. And now that we're here, I'm just like, I just want to work and like just create that future that I feel so strongly I'm meant to have and to just co-create. So
wow. I'm still in shock, waking up every morning and this being the reality.
Yeah.
I've been getting so attached to it. This just universe. Not that I feel like I'm in my own world by any means. I just feel like I'm finally in everything that I've always wanted.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I think for you guys, whatever vision that you have, like my mentor that I worked with, we did a vision worksheet and it took me a while to do it, but there were a lot of questions. And one of the questions was asking me like, where do I see myself, this like future version of myself, this vision? And I said, I'm living in Puerto Rico or I'm living in Bali. And I like forgot that I wrote this. So I've been putting together like my digital product, like my online course, and you pull things from different coaches and mentors and programs that you've been in. And so I'm like, this vision worksheet would be great to go into this program that I'm creating. And I review my vision worksheet and I'm reading that and I forgot that I wrote that. And all the last month, I'm just like, yeah, if I go to Bali and I come back, like I'm just going to move to Puerto Rico. Like I've been just talking about it. And I'm like, wait, whoa. Like I wrote this down and now I'm living in it. And I'm like, whoa, pinch me.
Yeah, it's wild. Like,
yeah,
vision casting and really experiencing it too, I think is powerful. Yeah, I also have on my vision board move to Bali, and yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I think it's super important to declare that those positive words over your life. Not to word curse yourself or talk yourself out of something. You have to be extremely aware of the conversations that you're having with yourself intrapersonally, that inner dialogue, because that inner critic and that inner dialogue can easily talk you out of something that you know deep down that you want. No problem. You're good.
There was a verse in the Bible app this morning, and it was like, ask, seek, knock. So ask what you want, take the right actions to getting there, and knock on the door. And if it answers, then it's yours. And if it's not, then that's the perfect opportunity to step into another path if it's not meant for you. So.
Okay. You can't have faith without works. Like, meaning you can't just rely on faith alone for your life to change. You have to take action. You have to co-create with God in order for the reality that you want to come to surface. So always remember too that the moments that you feel like you're delaying or you're pushing things off, it also says in scripture that that is what the devil does. So as you take action, know that you are exactly where you're meant to be and that you are going to be laying a path forward that is completely different. And then know that whenever you're feeling these moments of apprehension and delay and procrastination and putting things off, and maybe next week, maybe next month, maybe next year, that's because the enemy does not want you to relish and enjoy prosperity and the abundant things in life. So I think that that's just like a quick little thing for you, like, oh, whoa, like I'm being slowed down right now. That's because something is trying to keep me from my blessings. And that should be like, I'm not going to let this thing hold me back from my dream life. Yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. So yeah, just a quick little
verse.
Quick tip.
Just a quick tip.
Quick tip. When you don't feel like doing something, that's because something's telling you not to. And when you do feel like doing something, that's because God is telling you to. And He's got this whole different life just around the corner.
And then you just need to surrender to it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Wow, this was quite the conversation.
I know, it was powerful.
We could keep talking.
We really could.
But thank you so much. We are both on like very small amount of sleep. I think I woke up at 4 a.m. What time did you go to bed?
I went to bed at 3:30 and I got up at 8:15.
I think I went to bed at 11, got up at 4. So we are still adjusting to the time zones here, and we're making it through though. Thank you so much for watching.
Peace.
Hope that you enjoyed this. We'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to subscribe, like, and give it a comment. Let us know what you liked about it and what you want to see next.
Yeah, we'd love your feedback.
Bye.
Bye.